Hey FoxPro, my name's Curtis Brausen from Hardisty, Alberta, Canada, and this is my backyard, the Battle River Valley. This is where the majority of our hunting takes place, and my favorite sport, of course, is calling coyotes, which is, this valley is full of them, and it's a growing resource, never-ending resource. You asked me what I thought it would take to basically be a FoxPro field representative. Well, for one, I had a look and didn't really notice that there's too many representatives from Canada, and there's just as good a hunting here as anywhere else in the world. And I think the biggest requirement would be advocating the sport and passing it on to little guys like this. This is my son Lucas, and he'll grow up to be a hunter just like me, just like my dad taught me. And it's a kind of a family tradition that'll probably be passed on for generation to generation. Advocating the sport, basically being a good hunter, being a good community leader, the type of person that there's a lot of people that have maybe put us in bad light, and hunters kind of get a bad rap for other people's actions. So it's up to people like myself and others to represent us professionally, fairly, and show the world basically that we are professional people. We're not just hunters and killers and the type of people that don't respect the game, because a lot of hunting is about respect, and it's about taking home, and a lot of us are eating what we hunt, right? Aside from coyotes, of course. But one of the other requirements I think would be feedback from the field. There's a lot of times, like, I'm sure you're probably curious to know what calls are working during what season, and basically with conditions that calls are working in and what's working when. I find that rabbit calls and a lot of the rodent calls work early in the spring, and then I find times like right now in the fall, October here in Canada, start of hunting season, more of the pups in distress because the pups have left their dens now, and a lot of those calls are different, so there's different calls at work different times of the year, and maybe that's the type of feedback that you'd find useful. As well as more requirements would be just answering questions. If there's, there's a lot of times we take people out and we host them. So there's another one. If you ever want to come to Canada, and we'd be willing to host you, take you out varmint hunting. But back to answering the questions. I mean, questions, emails, anything like that. A lot of the stuff that we already do.
So good.
Yeah, you bet, buddy.
Walk me.
Yep, Hannah's a good dog. But anyways, basically, a lot of these things are things that we already do in the sport, and we represent hunters honestly, and basically if there's something that like, this video is more about you at this point, hey buddy?
Funny.
She is funny. So anyways, I guess I'll probably try and wrap this up, but family's important to me. A little bit about myself as well. I'm a hobby gunsmith. I advocate the firearms community as well as the hunting community, so that's why I think I'd be a good field rep for you guys. This is kind of my life. This is a lifestyle for all of us in a small town community. It's a community of 700 people, and the nearest city's 2 hours away. So we're rural folk. We're down to earth, and we're the type of people that are approachable. And I think that's a quality that you'd need to be as well for Representative FoxPro, is being approachable and be willing to teach other people the skills you have. So back to that would be the emails, phone calls, anything like that people have. Maybe you guys want to funnel on 20 representatives. I'd be more than willing to answer a lot of those questions for people and try and help them out with some of their problems. As far as FoxPro goes, I feel it's probably one of the best calls in the world. We used to do a lot of hand calling, and used to get results with hand calling, but not like you can with a FoxPro electronic call, because there's a lot of places here the wind blows probably like 20 kilometers an hour most of the time, all the time. So it basically it gets the sound out there, and it allows us to hunt a lot of areas that we couldn't hunt before. So in closing, I think FoxPro is probably one of the greatest companies around. You guys have helped me out with warranty before, and customer service is great. There's also the fact that FoxPro is one of those things you don't even have to sell. It's something when somebody asks me what type of call would I suggest, it's a FoxPro, and the reason for that is because they work, and the people there are great to deal with. So in closing, I hope that you'll consider me to be a FoxPro field representative, and I look forward to meeting you all in the future. Thank you very much. Have a good day.